Hey kids, story time again with Andre. First of all, I had a request recently to increase the production value of my videos, so I'm in the truck today. Don't worry, I'm not driving. My license expired back in 2020, and I have not driven off my property in 5 years, so we're all good. Anyway, truth is, my kids are all home today. It's Saturday, and I feel really stupid talking to the camera as a grown man if someone else can hear me. So please forgive me for being out here. Anyway, this is a story I've wanted to cover for a long time in honor of a guy who is no longer with us. I'm not sure when he passed away, but I want to tell the story of this kid, Jay, from Inner Sanctum, who was a local band. So basically in 1989, with about a week's notice or less, maybe it was a last minute thing, we were asked to go play at a club in Houston called Backstage. Normally a bunch of hair metal type bands would play there or whatever. It wasn't like the coolest place for, metal bands or whatever. But anyway, it turned out to be a huge crowd that night. I promise you it was not because Helstar was playing. It was probably because people wanted just to go out that night, because even in the best of our days, you would have trouble getting 50 Helstar fans under the roof at the same time. We played so many dead shows. So my first show in Houston, I think we saw the promoter cry. It was so bad. He lost his ass. So anyway, this really is about Jay. So let me talk about him. I knew him a little bit before this show. I actually went to his house and we worked on some harmonic minor stuff. I was sharing some things with him and whatever. So I remember meeting his mom. His mom gave me like $20 out of her purse for a guitar lesson, so it was really cool. So I remember going to his house and everything. Fast forward to the show. Almost to the show. About a week before the show or so, I had just got a new Mega Drive pickup from DiMarzio. DiMarzio sent me out a Mega Drive to try out. And I had one of the guys who was working for Helstar at the time on the road. His name was Charles. I had Charles solder that pickup in for me, and everything was fine. And then we played the show that night, and not too many songs into the show, all of a sudden my guitar is dead. There's no sound coming out of it whatsoever. So anyway, to fill up the dead time, because the place was packed, it was 2 levels, so you had 2 levels of people all just staring at us like, what the hell's going to happen next? So the guys, they started playing Witch's Eye because it was an easy song that didn't require that much from me. And they played that song without me while I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on with my guitar. And so after they play Witch's Eye, we're kind of having a powwow behind the marshals over there. And Larry comes over to see what the hell's going on. And, we're all gathered around trying to figure out what's happening. And I was like, I don't know, it's just not working and whatever. So I needed a guitar. And Larry had other guitars on his side. And I said, I didn't want to use one of his guitars, but I asked, can I use one of your guitars? He said no. He just flat said no, which is fine. But nevertheless, that actually happened. He said no. We've got all these people staring and waiting for something to happen. One of the most crowded shows we've had in Houston, and he said no. So anyway, Jay's band, Inner Sanctum, had opened the show, and he allows me to use his red Ibanez. And I'd never played that guitar before, not a guitar like it. It was 24 frets. I'm a 22 fret guy. And not only that, I was afraid the strap was going to come off and I was going to drop his guitar because there was no strap locks. My guitars, I actually screw the strap in on each end with a big washer so they don't come off. I don't use strap locks. I just put a damn, sheetrock screw in it with a washer. Anyway, so I'm playing Jay's guitar for the first time ever. And the very first song that I have to do is Abandon Ship. So not that Abandon Ship's so hard or anything. It's just that it involves a lot of things above the 12th fret at different times. And that's when you start to get into trouble with if you're not used to a 24 fret guitar, because you kind of lose your place. I'm a 22 fret guy. I'm used to going all the way up to that high note. And then now I've got these extra notes that, So anyway, that turned out okay. But that's what I mean by the kid that saved Christmas. I don't know what would have happened if Jay had not been there and not been so cool as to let me use his nice guitar, which I guarantee you cost him and his family a lot. It had to be his pride and joy. And he kindly handed it over to me so that we could finish playing the show. So I want to thank Jay from the bottom of my heart for saving that show. And then years later, I found out that he had passed away. And that's very sad. He was very young. And then not only that, to make it even worse, his brother also passed away at a young age. So how tragic, you know, and I still remember his mom. And I just want to say, sweet lady, you just hold on. They're waiting for you, and you'll have your boys in your arms again before you know it. Life is so short, and it just flies by. And we're all just passing through. So hang in there. And Jay, my message to you, of course, is thank you, brother. And if you would, please set aside a Strat with a scallop neck and 22 frets, and I'll catch up with you later.